there we have it. What you are just from watching is the conversation that we are about to get into. My first guest on Entertainment Thursday is none other than a pianist, coming all the way from Ukraine. So he is a Ukrainian pianist, he is a musicologist, and he's also a cultural scholar. He goes by the name Dr. Filenko Taras. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you this morning.
Thank you.
I want us to begin by talking about, the piece that we're just from watching, whereby you were on that piano playing the piece that you were playing, and then you called upon the German ambassador to come join you on stage, and he came in and he took over with that. Talk to me about that, just a bit about that, what was happening.
Well, this concert was about collaboration between Ukrainian, Kenyan, and world music. So we decided to bring the core as music of Ukraine, culture of Ukraine, and we blend with dance with the local musicians, and we decided to play this piece, a kind of jazz arrangements of very beautiful folk tunes from Ukraine, and I have a privilege to find that a German ambassador is a wonderful pianist. He's a wonderful jazz pianist. So we decided that I will start this piece, and I would move away, and he would blend with the rest. So I think it's not only interesting kind of contact with two musicians, but also a sign for collaborations, and two artists who play drums and bass guitar. They're from Kenya.
Yeah.
So it was German, Ukrainian, Kenyan, on the wonderful stage of National Theatre.
Yeah, that was happening yesterday.
Right.
We'll get to speak more about that, just to get to understand how that was like, because I know that you incorporated a number of people, and as you've mentioned, we had Kenyans on there. We had, I saw someone playing the violin as well, and that was beautiful. We'll get into that, but before we get into that, we would love to first get to understand who exactly Dr. Filenko is, get to understand the music side of you, where it all began, how it all began for you.
Well, as you mentioned, I was born in Ukraine and educated as a pianist, as a musicologist, as a writer, historian, and I've been teaching in many places and schools. Unfortunately, since a Russian invasion and the war, I started to promote Ukrainian culture, because like in many other countries, culture very often under suppression and I started playing piano, having lectures, master classes, interviews, even established the programs in many countries. So I just before came to wonderful Kenya, I was in Uganda, and before that was India and Asia, Indonesia, Philippines, Mexico, Colombia. So I'm doing this not only to bring the beauty of the music and art, but also to present that was suppressed or wasn't here. And for me, it's very important to show that all cultures is beautiful. All cultures in the world should be presented and celebrated. So this is why I'm often inviting local musicians, or I put on the screen, on the slides, the patterns of the embroidery or beads, because we can see that even though between Uganda and Kenya and other places, in Ukraine, it's a space, but it's not space anymore. We are much more closer interconnected with our aspiration, with our beauty of our national identity, through dance, singing, rhythm, music, poetry, literature. So this is what we have to celebrate and to put on the shield of our achievement as humans, as a human being. So this is why what I'm doing, basically, I'm trying to promote culture that was not well known. And I was surprised that yesterday I played variety of music, from 18th century to jazz, and with a violinist, with a beautiful dancer, and I think that Kenyan audience was extremely receptive and very emotionally sensitive. And maybe I have to say, even more kind of on intimate note, since I came to this country, to this wonderful country, one word, kindness. I experience in every corner. And I know that so many people was involved to make this program, because basically every day I have at least 2 master classes and events in academies, at the universities.
Yeah.
I think that kindness is a motto of Kenyan people for me.
I love that. I love that. and I love the fact that you got that from us, because I believe that as a people, that is what we usually give. We are warm people. We are kind people, as you mentioned. So I am glad that you got to experience that. And yeah, you lived that. I am happy that my country people got to give that to you. Now, as you mentioned, you've been here since Monday. Right. So this is your 5th day. This is your 5th day in the country. And over these days, all days, you had something happening. You had activities going on. You happened to go to some of our universities here. You were at Strathmore University. You went to Kenyatta University. So when you go to this, for example, the sessions in school, what is happening there while you're there?
First of all, people ask me about Ukraine, about Ukrainian culture. I also a professor, and I taught a lot. And I'm trying to to create kind of platform for dialogue, because I want people knew about Kenya culture, not a superficial kind of element, but a really deep knowledge of Kenyan culture. At some point, I taught course about African music, and I know how important knowledge, because as a historian, I think that we have to look at the primary source. We have to look at the indigenous culture, not in a kind of like frame that sometimes appears. When I was planning to come here, and my friends asked me about Kenyan music and culture, I said, look on the YouTube. But what I start looking at the YouTube, sometimes is not exactly Kenyan music. Yeah. I'm a kind of blend, but authenticity sometimes been kind of chiseled. And I'm started to promote some programs, maybe some collaboration in terms of the conferences or cultural exchange, because I think that Kenyan culture has to be known, as same as Ukrainian too. And maybe in Uganda they asked me to start the conferences under the title "A Suppression of Expression." And unfortunately, in many cultures and countries historically, we experience this suppression of expression that unfortunately my country, Ukraine, experiences right now. But historically, basically, there's a scar of colonialism, of some kind of oppression, affect culture very much. And we have to promote this element of interconnections. So this is why I'm trying to make all kind of connections as possible. Cultural, musical, historical, whatever.
Yeah. Why is it important for all of us to just preserve our culture and get to allow our culture to be seen, you know, out there, not just in one place, like what you're doing right now? As you mentioned, you have been doing tours all over the world. You mentioned to me that you have been to Asia already, you've gone to Malaysia, you've gone to the Philippines, and you know, you've been to Uganda, you've been to Kenya, you're now in Kenya. You're headed to Mauritius tomorrow?
I'm going to Mauritius, and after that I'm going to Zimbabwe, Congo, back to South Africa. So I'm going to have about 6 countries more in Africa.
So why is it so important for us to take upon that challenge, to preserve our culture and to let our culture be known out there?
You know, it's a very loaded question, because I think that every culture is a backbone of national identity, who you are. And when the culture oppressed or suppressed, means we're losing something as we are, as not only as a human being, but also as a citizen of the land. So this is why I think that in the contemporary settings, on one hand, culture should be presented and developed, and on the other hand, should be supported, not only by the government, not only by the local community, but as a world community as well. And especially when the culture, like my culture of Ukraine, under tremendous stress, under tremendous kind of, I would say, emotional and physical stress, because a lot of artists have been killed, and Russia is not waging the war for land. They're waging the war against national identity. And for me, it's very painful, because I think that every human being, every human connecting culturally to their land, like this is why I'm going to the places that not aware of Ukraine too much. They knew, but I just want to bring the whole spectrum of the cultural events to the podium. And I'm very glad that I'm doing the concert today. I'm going to play organ in a St. Augustine church, and I'm going to have meeting with the youth in Creative Garage. And a couple of days ago, I was in a school for underprivileged kids and in conservatory music. So for me, place doesn't matter. I want to reach as much audience as possible. And I'm so grateful that I have this opportunity to talk to you today.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you here. You've mentioned that, you know, you still, you actually had a master class. You had a master class at the conservatoire, and you also got to interact with, you know, musicians, children musicians from the country. And you also got to interact with ghetto classics who are extremely talented. I would just love to know how that interaction was like for you, and just getting to feel the other side, you know, now the Kenyan side of it. Yes, they're musicians, you relate in one way or another, but now they have their own style, and now bringing it together with yours. Just how has that been?
First of all, my goal is to reach as wider audience as possible. And for me, it doesn't matter either it's professional level or amateur level. I think that the most important to establish connections. And everywhere where I've been, I'm trying to present opportunity to connect to the other institutions. I think that Kenyan young musicians are very talented, extremely talented, and they have to be heard. I was very impressed in conservatory music to hear like 12 years old playing pieces that belong to the highest level. And Kenyan young composer played his music. And I think that this type of activities should be celebrated and promoted. Kenyan music has special touch. I would use word that maybe not too many knows, polyphony. Polyphony means many voices, polyphony. And Kenyan culture very much rooted on a polyphonic perception of life, along with extremely beautiful rhythm, polyrhythmical elements. And I think this feature should be blended with any genres and presented. So I think that all kind of elements I'm trying to emphasize, from the indigenous cultures to the contemporary one. And I think that this is one of my main goals, to celebrate Ukrainian culture and culture of the land.
And get to integrate them in a way or two. What would you love people to get to know about the Ukrainian culture? If there's one thing you'd want to leave us with, what would that be?
On one hand, as an artist, for me is the main goal to celebrate the beauty of the art, the beauty of the music. At the same time, I want to show people something that they don't know. And this is not their fault. It's a fault of those who oppressed culture to be developed and to be known. Unfortunately, my country was under pressure for a long time, historically. And this is why people don't know well. So this, my goal is to represent, to bring not negative, but first and foremost positive side. And establish these connections, because nowadays, in your youth, in my age, it was different, but now it's very, very different. You connected to the world much closer through gadgets, through internet. So, and I think that the celebration of our mutual connections, our mutual cultural legacy, is tremendously important. So this is my main goal.
Yeah, that is what you're all about, and that is what you are really looking towards doing as you are on this tour around the world.
Also to meet people. You know, you can even imagine how many people in the world to make this tour. I was shocked. And so different. I'm very grateful, and for the people from the embassy and artists like Ira Kiachienko. I never met this beautiful artist, and she lives here in Kenya. and she's Ukrainian. She makes these beautiful posters. And people who are involved in arrangement and logistics. Very often, cultural event is an iceberg. And on top, that you see on top. But the bottom is so many people involved. And this is one of my great pleasure to meet wonderful, open-hearted people.
Yeah. All right. I want us to talk about the concert that happened yesterday at the Kenya National Theatre, because, you know, with Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, you've been doing, you know, getting to meet different young people, getting to talk to them. You had a masterclass with them. But now yesterday you held a concert. It's the clips that we've been seeing on our TV as we continued with our conversation. So, and, you know, I didn't get to attend, unfortunately, but one of my producers attended it, and he was just letting me in on how that was like, and the fusion of just you on the piano, and we had some people on the drums, and, you know, just that fusion. So how did you get to go about that, you know, with working with these young Kenyans who were part of your concert? If you can just let me know how that worked. Did you meet beforehand? Because now, you know, the fusion was beautiful.
First of all, I have to tell you that since my traveling, this is one of the best concerts. This is one of the best concerts that I have. First of all, I've been greeted by the beautiful group of local musicians, indigenous people with a dance. And it's actually blend, it's impetus to the whole event, and we move to the stage. I met these people sometimes accidentally, sometimes not. Like I found the violin player, this young man, I have only 2 rehearsals with him. And I sent him music in advance, and he learned this basically through Zoom, and we connected. Exactly the same happened with a German ambassador. I sent him some music to pick, and he picked a couple of pieces. With dancers, even more better, because I sent him the music that I'm going to play, and this young man create absolutely amazing show, absolutely fantastic.
There we can see it on the screen, actually.
Yes,
see the young man dancing.
This one.
Yeah.
I think it should be kind of example of the fusion and collaboration with a wonderful artist. And I have to tell you that a lot of people are doing this on a voluntary basis, for free.
And the fact that they're doing it for free.
Yes, because they are so passionate about this idea to present Ukrainian culture to the Kenya that, and I'm very grateful for this.
Yeah, I was saying, and the fact that, you know, just the fact of knowing that you had that little time, but you got to work with these people as if you had trained and did rehearsals for so many days. It's so beautiful to see what talent can do. I mean, if you got it, you just got it. It doesn't need much time, maybe, to
talent and kindness of the people on the ground. This is the most important. From the plane, I've been driven to the place where I can play grand piano with ambassador or with a singer. So somebody opened his house for me, or studio, almost immediately, and it's happened all over the floor in Kenya. So this is very important to me to emphasize this part of our friendship and collaboration.
Yeah, and you've really insisted on the kindness, and I love that for, you know, for us as a people and a country, that we get to just emanate kindness so easily like that. Now, as we finalize on the conversation, maybe where you're playing today, or what's happening today at St. Augustine?
I'm playing today in Creative Garage, and I have St. Austin Church at 6:30. I'm going to play organ because I'm also organist, and I would like to play different instruments, and I have some kind of lecture today, and I would be very grateful that if people of Kenya listen to Ukrainian music. So this is also my goal. I not only just present, but to spark interest, and understand what's going on in the world too. Because very often culture can be under tremendous stress, and we have to help each other. So this is my main goal.
All right, and you know, it's open for anyone to come it's open for anyone and everyone to come and
all my
attend.
all my concerts for Ukraine since the beginning, like 5 years ago, free of charge, always. Because I want people to come and to experience this beauty. Because unfortunately, I'm doing this for 4 years, and in a couple of days, it will be the 4th year of the war in Ukraine.
Unfortunately.
So I'm doing this, and I will do as long as I would able to do this.
Okay.
And all my events free for public and free for like-minded people.
So it's free for everyone to just come and
Right.
attend and get
Right.
to experience that and get to enjoy the interactions with different people, for musicians, with different musicians as well. All right, this is where we end the conversation. What would be your final remarks, your parting shots?
That beauty of cultures should be celebrated, regardless of place and affiliation. I think that we have to know each other better. I think that we have to open our mind and heart, not being blocked, and not being kind of affected by propaganda. Very, very often in nowadays, we have to find a primary source. And for this issue, I'm a primary source of Ukraine. And I would be very happy to emphasize that people in Kenya extremely kind. Kindness, it will be always that I would keep in mind when I talk about Kenya.
Amazing.
Kindness.
Amazing.
Thank
you so much. It was
Thank
a
you.
pleasure having you on the show, and all the best as you continue with your tour all over the world.
Thank you very much. Thank
This
you.
is where we end this conversation.